Yep, we seem to have some worm spots we didn't have before. Artifact spots are found all over the world of Stardew Valley, and they give you a variety of different things, anything from useless stones to useless clay. So the idea today is a little comparison. We're going to see what these give you in different areas and how often, which is going to be really exciting because I just love finding mixed seeds. For this one, I have had a mod created that spawns in every possible artifact spot in existence. But before we get to trying that out, we're going to move this one into summer, that way I have all the areas accessible to me in the valley. So as soon as we're done telling Marnie we don't want this cat, we'll get started. Go feed it to the Pam. Currently, I have max luck turned on, that way we can have equal luck every day we try this. What I'm going to do today is find every artifact spot on the map, mine it, and we'll see what we have left at the end of the day. Then we're going to skip it into say winter when there's more artifact spots, do exactly the same thing, see what we get on that day, and then we're going to use the mod to spawn in every artifact spot in existence to see exactly what that gives us in comparison. And I have a feeling it's going to be a million times more things than we normally find. Because as you can tell, just running around my farm, you maybe find 1 or 2 on a fresh week, but other than that, you're not really going to find more than 1 or 2 per area on the map. I do tend to overlook these a lot, 1 because they're kind of hard to see, and 2 because I'm just used to ignoring them, so sometimes they just kind of blend into the background for me, but I'm going to do my best to find every one of them. So far it's not looking great. I've done the entire upper half of the map and I found 1 artifact, and that was the one on my farm. Artifact spot number 2 is over there. Hopefully it's actually something exciting. 3 pieces of copper. That's more exciting than penny is. Another spot, 1 piece of clay. The beach normally has an artifact. Today it has nothing. But curiously enough, the artifact you often find in a beach is broken glass, and I think that's Concerned Ape's way of trying to say something. And you find a lot of bones and those type of artifacts around this part of the map. And more clay. The desert can have some of the absolutely rarest artifacts in the game, and some of them are pretty hard to find at less than 1% chance per worm spot. Obviously I'm super lucky though, and find nothing but clay. Well, here's our reward for scouring the entire map of artifacts. 3 copper ores and 7 clay. 10 items total, all of which are fairly useless. Those have all been safely stored in the red chest, which is a summer chest. In winter, we should find more things due to more artifact spots. Those are going to go in the blue chest, and then everything we find ever in the white chest. So it's back to the waiting game. Several months and 1 coffee later, we're ready to do it again. Winter is supposed to have more artifact spots, so we'll really put that to the test. Already we see 1, and of course we're going to see them more easily today, and we have more room on our farm because grass no longer exists. A 3rd artifact spot already, only more clay, but still more artifact spots than we've had previously. Plus, a rusty spur, the first actual artifact we found this entire time. You can actually find a lot of winter forageables under the artifact spots in winter. So that kind of works against finding the artifacts, but it is helpful to find forageables anyway, so it kind of balances out. Our 2nd artifact, a prehistoric tool. And no, that's not the same one that's running this town. Copper. Be careful when you're hoeing stuff beside the water, and I've done that a lot before. It can actually bounce off of you and drop into the water before you collect it, which is a great feeling, believe me. And stones. A library book. You are going to find a lot of these until you find them all, and then you'll stick to purely artifacts and stones. The Secret Woods even has one today. It's just clay. Tons in the desert today. Clay. Stone. Clay. A golden relic, that is actually one of the rarer artifacts. I'm not sure of the odds of that offhand, but I think that's about a 1% chance depending on where exactly you find it. And we've still got a few more. We got 3 more clay, plus 1 over here. This will be the final one we find today. I've searched all the other areas. But look how much more we found than we did back in spring. Summer. It was summer. In summer we found like 7 clays and 3 rocks, or the other way around. On this one we found 3 artifacts, 2 copper, 4 stones, 15 clay, a winter root. Much better. And I think that's to try and give you a little bit more to do during winter, because obviously if you're not doing crops, there's not really a lot to do, especially considering it's your 4th season in the game. So quickly for comparison, that's where we found winter. This is what we found summer. Before we move into the next step of our production, I need a tractor barn. And that seems to be done and in working order, and conveniently it's bound to the same button as my record, so every time I go to record a clip, the tractor comes along. We're just going to save the progress, and tomorrow, every artifact in existence. First things first, let's see if this mod actually works. Yep, we seem to have some worm spots we didn't have before. This mod should lay worm spots down on any spot they can possibly spawn in the game, maybe even in a few they can't. But so far, I'm not seeing any in any spots that wouldn't normally show up, I think. Though it is kind of weird to see them on the road, but I won't ask too many questions. This is just going to be good enough for me. Think we'll find any artifacts here today? It's kind of hard to tell. Well, let's try a little sample, see what we find. There's a chicken statue, we got some other stuff. I should have put some magnet rings on. The tractor comes with magnets, another chicken statue. Another rusty spur. This will be a good indication to see just how common some of these things are. 2 iridium bands to give me both light and magnet power. Does the tractor actually work for these? Yep, I didn't realize the radius was that big. That was exciting. 2 strange dolls, 43 chicken statues, 41 rusty spurs, 211 clay. I think we're going to break a record with this one. I honestly kind of want to turn the radius down, but at the same time I kind of don't, because look at all this stuff we're finding. Well, let's just clear out the rest of the farm. We should have the backpack space available for that. And then we'll see what we're left with. I did just lose some stuff into the pond, but that's not the end of the world. The game actually lags as I'm moving around. There's so much stuff being found. Interestingly, I think the worms replaced my former chests where I found stuff in other seasons, but you know what? That's alright. We're just going to store everything in the bin tonight. We'll kind of get the numbers at the end of the day. Because obviously we're just going to find a billion more things than we found in other seasons. And I'm 100% okay with that. Look at all the library books. Uh-oh. This might break the game. It does not like what I'm doing right now. You found the library book. Oh, it counts them all as one too. So that might have actually been the rest of the library books all in one. But look at the new stuff already. Arrowheads, prehistoric tools, Denver dolls, ancient drums, prehistoric vertebrae. That's kind of cool. We could almost break it down area by area to see what you can find. So the ancient drum can be found in the bus stop, but it's obviously rarer than, say, the arrowhead or the prehistoric hand axe. We'll throw all of those things in the bin and move on to the next area. This is going to be fun. Okay, it definitely spawns some worms in areas that wouldn't normally spawn, like up on the hills, but you know what? That's okay. More artifacts for me. I'm not sure if this area has much. It does have skeletal hands, and I don't find those very often. This might be almost exclusive to this area, which I think is called the backwoods area technically. And all of those into the bin. The skeletal hand was the only artifact I found there. But the billion-dollar question, and the only thing I'm really concerned about in this video, will I find a dinosaur egg? Dinosaur eggs can be found in the worms up here around the bathhouse, and down here in the mountains. They have, I think, a 1% or a 0.8% chance to spawn here. I can't remember which it is, but given the amount of worms, it just has to happen. So far, nothing. Still nothing. Okay, maybe they can only spawn around the carpenter shop, because by now we should have found at least one. That's actually lagging the game pretty bad. I gotta get off the tractor for a sec. So 51 prehistoric tibia, 332 mixed seeds, 189 snow yams, not one dinosaur egg. I assume that means they just can't spawn there. And yes, I do know there's a ship from anywhere mod. I had it until recently when I upgraded my computer. I will reinstall that because it's much easier than coming back to the bin every 30 seconds. Dinosaur egg coming up. I think I did see one in there. Yep, one dinosaur egg. One though. Look at everything else we found. Still only one dinosaur egg in all those spots we just mined. I'm sure we'll find at least a few more as we do this though. I am seeing a few as we wander around. This is so much easier. Why doesn't the game just do this by default? And there's one more strip to go down this side. I assume the quarry is also full of artifacts, but we'll get to that in just a sec. Might have gone a little quickly through that stretch. The game couldn't really keep up. Alright, well what we got so far? Only 6 dinosaur eggs. So maybe they are actually pretty rare. Most people do find them from fishing to be fair, and I think they're easier to catch while fishing. 13 ancient seeds, 46 prehistoric skulls, 6 dinosaur eggs. Alright, let's try the quarry. We're gonna do this in record time. Ready? Go. Yeah, that's about done. I don't think I picked up everything on the east side. But a lot of good stuff coming up here. So if you've ever wondered what artifacts come out of the area, well, any of these are possible. Obviously, the rarer ones are rarer. Everything into the bin as always, then we're going to go to town, which is a huge area, which should have a lot of different stuff in it. And town does have a chance of some pretty rare stuff as well. It is one of the hardest artifacts to find, so we'll see what we get. So far, we've got a lot of different stuff, a lot of artifacts. I think we probably have the biggest variety of stuff right here. I don't know what I do without mods anymore, I really don't. The game would feel weird to me. Well, after doing a short little strip right over there, here's what we got so far. Chewing stick, the chipped amphora, a strange doll. These are pretty rare in themselves. Ornamental fan, more strange dolls. Nothing too outrageous. I think the golden mask is the rare one you can find here. The golden something is definitely the rare one you can find in town. Town is done. I haven't taken a good look at what I found. Not the golden whatever that I think you can find there. So that goes to show how rare it possibly is. Or I could be entirely wrong. Everything in the bin, then we'll go do the beach and other areas. Hopefully before it gets too dark. My prediction is we're going to find a lot of broken glass. And other stuff. A lot of anchors. Probably mostly from Willy because he's just not really a very good sailor. Alright, well the beach gave us some different stuff. The glass shards, which are very common on the beach, dried starfish because of course, an anchor, 41 of them, ornamental fans, trilobites, and gold other stuff. Now for the biggest area in the game, the area around Marnie's ranch, and this is going to have a ton of worm spots. I'm not sure what it can give me, but whatever it is, it's going to be a lot of them. So without further ado, our first scoop for Elvish jewelry. I'm always excited to find those because I think they're a little bit more difficult, but let's just see what we get. And that's about everything from this area. We still need to do the secret woods, which I will do. I just want to take a quick look at what we've gathered because I'm genuinely curious to see what shows up here. The strange dolls seem to show up almost everywhere, but in very low quantities, so it's going to be pretty rare if you find one of those. Should we try the secret woods? I'm not sure there's anything odd or rare that can show up here. So far, there's not a lot of anything exciting. By mistake, I accidentally left the secret woods and absorbed something from the neighboring area, which I think was just a palm fossil. The secret woods gave us from the slime backwards, so nothing really here. This area might actually be the most valuable of all of them, just because you can find some of the golden relics that I think are worth more money. The golden mask and golden relic. Both of those should be worth something. Actually finding quite a few of them, but I think they're about the only thing you can find here. Luckily, the desert is quite a small area, so we found 72 golden masks and 112 golden relics. Both of which probably are Mayor Lewis's former attempts to make something. Those are going in the bin, then we're going to check the map to see if we missed any areas. At the very least, I got all of the major areas. One thing I do want to try, see if we can spawn them into the sewers, and if we can, see what it's going to give us, because I don't think they can naturally spawn down here. We can add them though, so that's interesting. But are they actually going to give us anything? Okay, I guess they just give us the forageables that are in season. Otherwise, it probably does give us mixed seeds. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to throw these out because you can't even find stuff down here normally. I guess the only step left now is to wait overnight and see what everything is worth. I've gotten every area that was every artifact spot in existence possible mined. It's probably worth noting though that you can't find all the artifacts out of the artifact spots. You're going to have to fish for some. The game really had to think overnight. It's probably wondering why I didn't donate these to the museum. Total 1,269,000. I honestly thought it would be more. About 1.25 million we'll call it. The foraging obviously would be less in a month other than winter, and we'd probably find more artifacts. Winter probably wasn't the best one to do this on, but either way I think we found every artifact we can possibly find. If you want to see the numbers for things, there they are. Nothing seems like it's worth a lot more than other things yet. The clay is worth a lot in itself. The ornamental fans worth 30,000. The palm fossils were 20,000, 36,000 for the golden masks. I thought those ones were going to be more valuable, 28,000 there. I don't know why these are classified under other, but they are. So there you have it. If you turn every space ever in Stardew Valley into an artifact spot, it's worth about 1.25 million depending on exactly what you find. For those of you that are interested in using some of these crazy mods that you can't normally find anywhere else, I will post a link in the description below of how to find most of these. Other than that, give me more ideas for different games or for Stardew Valley. Okay, thanks, bye.